Brian, and one thing I'm hoping to, you are the lead author of an important report at World Resources Institute that's been a big player in this discussion. I'm wondering if you can help us think through the terms food waste and food loss, which are used interchangeably, but in some respects mean different things.
Sure. Yeah, thank you for that introduction. Yeah, so you mentioned some of our facts from that paper. Globally, Ben mentioned that it's 40% waste in the US. Globally, about 33% of food by weight that is produced for human consumption does not reach human mouths. When you turn that into calories, it's about 24%. So about 1 in 4 of all food calories that are produced for humans globally don't end up reaching human mouths. So it's a big problem, but it also suggests a big opportunity. And so the way that this sort of breaks down at the global level, getting into sort of the distinction between food loss and food waste, in poorer countries in the world, in the less developed regions, you see much more of that happening closer to the farm. So it happens at production or in storage where pests get to it, or it can't reach the marketplace, or those sorts of infrastructure-related problems. Whereas when you look at richer countries like the US and countries in Europe, you get much more into restaurant waste and consumer level waste. And so that's the distinction that we make, is that food loss happens closer to the farm, where there's not really intentionality to it. It's more of these infrastructure-related problems. Whereas once you get into food waste, that's when there's an intentionality to it. I was defrosting chicken in my fridge, but then I went out to dinner and that chicken went bad. So that's sort of the distinction there between food loss and food waste. Ben mentioned the 15% reduction rate in the US would feed everybody. We are one of these organizations. We're a global research organization at the intersection of environment and development, looking at how do we feed the world in 2050. And that's how we hit on food waste as a topic to begin with. Because it turns out that if we cut food waste globally by 50%, and I'm saying food waste is sort of shorthand for food loss and food waste combined, we close that 70% gap by almost a quarter. So that was a lot of percentages altogether, but it gets us about a fourth of the way there without having to convert any new land for agriculture, without having to use additional water, without having to produce more greenhouse gases to make that food. So it's more of a question of using the food that we're already producing in much smarter ways.